Some of you, no surprises, you're just continuing to piss me off. Why? Because every time I make a comment that's critical of the Democratic Party or the left, I get accused of being a pundit for the right. That doesn't mean I'm going to become some registered Republican. But what I don't like about the Democratic Party at this particular moment in time, you keep walking around on your moral high horse, acting like you're above reproach. Democrats, you lost. You got your butts whipped. Own it, live with it, accept it, embrace it, and look in the damn mirror.
Stephen A. Smith, a sports analyst, is setting the record straight about his own personal political identity, while also unapologetically criticizing the Democratic Party and now going after anyone who accuses him of being a secret Republican for doing so. Sounds familiar. Now, while there are definitely some positions that we disagree with Stephen A. Smith on, honestly, like the treatment he's getting is something that resonates with me, and I'm sure it would resonate with Cenk as well. And I do want to give you some more details about his rant, but before I do, Waz, you were nodding your head as we were watching that video. What are your thoughts?
Well, first of all, he's running. That's a one. I think all of these little breadcrumbs that he's dropping since the election, since before the election, remember when he went on The View and they asked him, he's like, if people want me to run, I would run.
Wait. Hold on. I'm not like, I don't follow Stephen A. Smith and like what he's up to. Like sometimes I'll see his videos, I'll watch, shenanigans, fun, but like running for what?
For president.
No,
Yes.
Really?
Yes. He went on The View and they asked him and he was like super coy about it. And I think Stephen A. is actually like, I think he'd be an amazing candidate, to be honest, because this guy knows how to speak to a broad American audience. He's been doing it for 2 decades. And he just has a way of connecting with people and getting them to hear what he has to say. So that's a one. I think the other thing that folks need to understand about that clip that you're just watching, Stephen A. comes from the sports world. So when you lose, you have to answer for it. You have to improve your game. You have to get better. You have to come back with new ways of attacking your foes, okay? You have to improve, you have to iterate, you have to adapt, evolve. That's what it is in sports. A team doesn't just get to lose and say, no, we lost playing football or basketball or baseball this one style, but we're just gonna keep at it. And if we lose again doing the exact same thing, that's all right. That's unacceptable in the sports world. And I think Stephen A. is just applying that ethic to his political analysis, which, bravo, man.
I mean, that's unacceptable in almost any other facet of life, right? You have your year-end review at work and you didn't hit your goals. Well, you're not gonna hit your goals if you do the exact same thing the following year, right? And you're expected to improve. And so it's interesting because when it comes to the political elite that are supposed to represent us in our best interests, on the Democratic side, they certainly just keep doing the same thing over and over again. And I commend him because I totally understand. Look, I don't have the fame and the money that Stephen A. has, but I also know what it's like to be attacked as something that you're not, just based on your criticism of the Democratic Party and your disagreement with maybe even some specific policies that they've implemented that haven't actually played out the way we all expected it to. But just to give you some more information about his rant, he published this video, and in the thumbnail it says, "Am I becoming a Republican?" And
I love that.
yeah, and he says that he's a registered independent and has some conservative views on things. Which, by the way, let's pause and talk about that for a second, because guess what? Most Americans have mixed views, right? Most Americans aren't like purely on the left on everything or purely on the right on everything. There's actually, most people are like a hodgepodge of left-wing and right-wing policy preferences. And so that's another thing kind of working in his favor, was when it comes to, the attention that he's been getting for his critiques toward the Democratic Party.
So I think it's hard for people who live and breathe, and maybe the TYT audience is, part of this, like people that live and breathe politics on a day-to-day basis. It's hard for people to understand that the average voter if they, let's just say, read the average, issue of the New Yorker or of even the Atlantic, who I'm quite disgusted by, but whatever. Any one of these publications, like the average voter would not just go list by list by list by list and say, oh, I agree with all of that. It's just not true. And I think a lot of people, a lot of people who are too online, a lot of people who follow this stuff too closely cannot fathom somebody who is 80, 70%, 65% on board with the agenda of the Democratic Party. Which is not to say, like, I can't vote for the Democrats without being 100% on board. Like, people can't understand how somebody could literally be like, Medicare for all, and I'm not really too worried about gun control. They can't, it's like, how? You're a Democrat. You're supposed to be Medicare for all. Well, not that the Democrats are, but you know what I mean. Like, whatever the Democrat, you're supposed to just follow it down the line. And if you stray from it, you're an idiot. You're a bigot. It's like, no, dude. Most people don't go down the line of what, every single Republican would agree is the right side of an issue, or every single Democrat in office would agree is the right side of the issue. And Stephen A. is like most voters in that regard.
I totally agree.
That's just what it is.
Well, let's go to the next clip, because he says that he's sick of Democrats coping and their refusal to acknowledge where they went wrong.
As the election came about and ultimately unfolded, and I saw Donald Trump win convincingly. No, he did not get 50% of the popular vote, as the Democrats are so quick to point out. My attitude to them is shut the hell up. Nobody wants to hear that now. Who cares whether he got 50% of the vote or not? He beat you in the popular vote and the Electoral College vote. He swept the swing states. He improved his numbers in every demographic imaginable. Blacks, Hispanics, women. He beat you. Y'all lost. The Democrats, you lost. You got your ass kicked in every way imaginable. Here's the bottom line. They were successful in disseminating whatever they wanted their message to be to the masses better than you were. You lost.
I've been consuming Stephen A, man, 20 years at least now. And I think that's his magic, his ability to, in a very entertaining way and quite thoughtful way, which is just pointing out the facts and like, bro, like this is what it is. And there need to be consequences for what happened. And again, nothing he said that you can't argue with what he said. Like maybe if y'all would have won 2 or 3 of the swing states, that the states that y'all thought were up for grabs, you didn't win a single one. You lost Nevada, for God's sake. You lost Wisconsin. We're talking, like, people don't understand Wisconsin used to be known as like this hotbed of progressivism, dude. Like the heart of progressivism in Wisconsin. You're losing Wisconsin in 2024, folks. Get it together. Like it's just obvious what's happening here.
Yeah, I mean the Democrats have more holes in their policy proposals than Swiss cheese. You get it? Wisconsin cheese. Like that? You like that?
Yeah,
no, look, he's totally right. And I don't think that makes someone a Republican. I think that it's a mark of strength when you want to engage in self-reflection. It takes a lot of, I guess, putting your ego aside and doing what you think is best, not for yourself necessarily, but for a movement or something that you're involved in. In this case, obviously, it's a political party that's trying to win over hearts and minds in this country. And he makes a devastating point about how Donald Trump managed to increase his support among the very groups that he's been accused of being racist and bigoted against. And so do the self-reflection. I think it's worth it.
Thanks for watching. If you become a member, you get to watch all this ad-free, except for, of course, this ad. Still, hit the join button below.